Hello and welcome to the Bible study on the book of Romans. Today, we're going to begin by looking at Romans chapter 3, verses 1 through 4. It says, "Then, what advantage has the Jew? Or, what is the benefit of circumcision? Great in every respect. First of all, that they were entrusted with the oracles of God. What then? If some did not believe, their unbelief will not nullify the faithfulness of God, will it? May it never be. Rather, let God be found true, though every man be found a liar, as it is written, that you may be justified in your words and prevail when you are judged." So now we see Paul contending with the Jews, telling them that coming from the circumcision is amazing because that meant they, the Jews, had been entrusted, which is actually founded on the Greek word for faith. It means that God had entrusted the divine utterances to them, i.e., first the Ten Commandments and then the Old Covenant or Mosaic Law. And just because someone chooses not to believe does not change the faithfulness of God. God is and will always be found true, regardless of man. Then Paul quoted Psalm 51 verse 4, which says, "Against you, you only, I have sinned and done what is evil in your sight, so that you are justified when you speak and blameless when you judge." Paul continues in verses 5 through 9. "But if our unrighteousness demonstrates the righteousness of God, what shall we say? That God who inflicts wrath is not unrighteous, is he? I'm speaking in human terms. May it never be. For otherwise, how will God judge the world? But if through my lie the truth of God abounded to his glory, why am I also still being judged as a sinner? And why not say, as we are slanderously reported, as some claim that we say, let us do evil that good may come? Their condemnation is just. What then? Are we better than they? Not at all. For we have already charged that both Jews and Greeks are all under sin. God cannot be unrighteous. Righteousness is his nature, his character, and because he is righteous, then he has every right to bring about or impose wrath on the unrighteous. If it were actually true that a lie would cause the truth of God to grow, Paul says, why then am I still being judged by men as a sinner? If it were true, then we would be saying what we've been accused of saying. We would report that by doing evil, good comes. But that is slanderous and a lie. It's not true. And those who are teaching that, every ounce of everlasting damnation is going to be just. Paul says, we're not saying that Jews are better than the Greeks. We are saying what we've always said. Both Jew and Greek are all under sin. Then Paul quotes at least 6 different places from the Old Covenant. In verses 10 through 18, as it is written, there is none righteous, not even one. There is no one who understands. There is no one who seeks for God. All have turned aside. Together they have become useless. There is none who do good. There is not even one. Or their throat is an open grave. With their tongue they keep deceiving. The poison of asp is under their lips, whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Destruction and misery are in their path, and the path of peace they have not known. There is no fear of God before their eyes." Those are all quoting Psalm 14 verses 1 through 3, Psalm 5 verse 9, Psalm 140 verse 3, Psalm 10 verse 7, Isaiah 59 verses 7 through 21, and Psalm 36 verse 1. It is true, without going through Christ, no one is righteous. To understand from Hebrew thinking is equal to being a good and upright man and having knowledge of those things which pertain to salvation. There is a sect of false teachers, especially Calvinists, that use the part that says none seek for God to mean that we have no choice. And if you only look at this scripture without the context of the whole, it would read that way. But there are countless examples of God giving men choices. And because we know that God does not lie, we ask God to show us. What do you mean here? And when you look at the meaning of turned aside, it means they chose to turn. And when one turns from God, then yes, we become useless and unserviceable. None do good by God's standards. And good to God means we are usable, fit for the use that God needs us. And we have a kindness that is serviceable. We speak false words, we lie, we curse, and so much more. We either speak life or we speak death. That is why we are told that we will be judged by things we say. All you have to do is look at the world and realize that we are bloodthirsty, warmongering people. And the reason for all of it is that there is no fear of God. Listen to what Moses told the people in Exodus 20, verse 20. Do not be afraid, for God has come in order to test you, and in order that the fear of him may remain with you, so that you may not sin. Or how about Psalm 25, verse 14? The secret of the Lord is for those who fear him, and he will make them know his covenant. I know that this is something that we have got to understand, and I know that's why he began teaching me in 2015 and has continued to pour it into me. This same message is being confirmed by hearing and seeing others teach the same exact message. And it also tells me that it is vitally important for our survival in the last days. I'm going to end this lesson here, and we'll take up the next lesson in Romans chapter 3, starting in verse 19, going all the way to verse 31. I'll see you on the next one.